Hey there, I'm your host, Kayla Evans, and welcome to the Hey Kayla podcast. Okay, have you ever been mid-sentence saying something that actually matters and you can feel people zoning out, right? Maybe they're nodding politely, yes, but they're not really locked in. Or worse, like they've just straight up checked out. That sucks. It can totally knock you off kilter. It's one of my least favorite things as a speaker. It can make you second guess yourself. It can make you hold back. It can derail your entire presentation. It sucks. I get it. So today we're chatting all about speaking in a way that hooks people. Whether you're on a call, you're leading a workshop, right? Maybe you're pitching a client. Maybe you're just even hyping your besties up over coffee. Because what you say matters, yes, but the way you deliver it, that's where the magic happens. And this is something that's coming up a lot lately in my private public speaking coaching practice. It's been happening a lot with my clients and with the TEDx speakers that I am lucky enough and fortunate enough to work with. If you don't have your tickets for TEDx Winnipeg yet, it's coming up in May. It's going to be phenomenal. These speakers are incredible. It is an honor, truly an honor to help coach them and work with them. I'm so excited for this. But how people tune out, why people tune out, and how to flip that, that's something that I've been working on with quite a few speakers. So I wanted to share it on the podcast episode here. And that's where I want to start. Why people tune out. Why do people just not listen sometimes, right? You're brilliant at what you do, but sometimes, yeah, it can feel like people don't quite catch the weight of your words, especially when we're in business settings. And that's just frustrating as hell. And here's why it happens. A big thing is lack of clarity. So when we hedge our words, we lose people. If you're saying these, I call them like wishy-washy sentences. If you're saying things like, well, I guess what I mean is, right? Those kind of wimpy, weak sentences, you're giving their brain permission to check out. And I don't want that to be shade to anybody who does that. A lot of us do it from time to time. I think it's human nature a lot of the time. But the truth is, like, people need to hear confidence to feel confidence. So we need to get rid of that lack of clarity, like right away. And it's easy to do. All of these things I'm going to give you are easy to do, thankfully. The second thing is speaking too passively. So this is similar to lack of clarity, but it's all about the vibe behind your words. So when I say someone speaks too passively, I'm talking about their energy feeling like they're asking for permission instead of assuming people want to listen. It's really subtle, but it makes a huge difference. And I'm going to give you an example right now. I want you to see the difference between these two sentences. The first one, well, I think this could be a good idea. It's passive, right? It's got that unsure energy, like I'm seeking your approval. I think this could be a good idea. Ugh, we don't like those wishy-washy sentences. Get them out of here. Like, go on, get. Whereas this one, this is a game changer. Here's why, right? Confident. It's got that compelling energy. Like, I know it matters, and I'm about to tell you why. This is a game changer, and here's why. World of difference, right? And this is not about yelling or forcing your authority, right? You're not going to go in there like a big old bully. No, we don't like that kind of energy, not a bullying energy. This is about conviction. I want you to own your words. I want you to trust what you are saying and then deliver it with a really grounded presence. Because when you believe in your message, people are going to believe in your message, right? When you believe in your message, people naturally want to listen. So it's subtle, but again, world of difference. And then the third thing, and these actually all kind of go hand in hand, low energy or an unsure delivery. When someone either goes up at the end of the sentence, like I did in that first example, I think this could be a good idea, right? Your inflection goes up, you're questioning yourself, or when someone trails off at the end of the sentence. This is huge in people's voicemails. If you ever listen to people's voicemail recordings, like before you leave a message on their recording, people sometimes sound like they're unsure of their own names, right? You'll laugh to yourself when you start listening to it and paying attention to it. When you trail off at the end of the sentence or your inflection goes up at the end of a sentence, it makes you sound less sure of what you're saying. And that's because confidence isn't just in your words, it's in the way you say them. So we want to get rid of these things, right? We want to ditch that lack of clarity. We don't want to speak passively. We want to get rid of the low energy, the unsure delivery, because people will tune in when you believe your words matter. And trust me, your words matter. You have a message. You have a service, a product, you've got something to give to the people who need it. So your words matter. And when you speak like you trust what you're saying, other people are going to trust it too. So now that we know what we should be avoiding, let's talk about what actually makes you magnetic when you speak. That kind of person who walks into a room and, you can just say, hey, and then suddenly that whole room is paying attention. It's important. Like, it really is important. Again, not just the words you say, but how you say them. And before words even come into it, the first thing I'm going to start with here, I have three. Yeah, I don't say three. I have three different things I want to give you. The first thing is your presence. And again, this comes before your words. Your energy is going to enter the room before your words do. I'm going to take a second, think about the most charismatic speaker you know. They command attention before they even open their mouth. Think about the last networking event you went to. Somebody was in that room. They lit up the room. They always had a crowd of people around them. They always had somebody to talk to. They were magnetic because presence is a mix of a few things. Your body language, absolutely. Your energy, your mood, and then the way you take up space. This is huge. So before we even get to jabbing our jaws, I want you to start with your presence. Before you go into work maybe tomorrow or your next meeting or your next networking event, I want you to take a quick second before you walk through that door. I want you to adjust your posture. So sit or stand really tall, like you have a string from the top of your head pulling you up. I want you to put your shoulders up, back, and down. I want you to take a really deep breath, get that belly breathing going, and I want you to own your space before you even speak. There's this thing I see on social media all the time. It's act like you're the main character of your life, which is adorable, and I love it. And maybe tell yourself that, right? Make it like a mini challenge to yourself. Next time you walk into a room, act like you belong there, like you're the main character, because you are. Heck, even if you go to the grocery store, right? You're walking through the sliding doors, act like you belong there and see how different it feels. Your presence, again, your energy enters the room before your words do. That's number one. Number two, and this one is going to require some work, and it is an ongoing journey, and that's vocal intention. Because again, how you say it matters more than what you say. And you may be rolling your eyes or just like, no, that's not true. Yes, it is. And I'm going to tell you why. You could be dropping pure gold. You could have the best speech written by the best speech writer in all of the world. But if you sound bored, if you sound rushed, if you sound unsure, people are just not going to care. They're not. Your voice is an instrument. You've got tone, you've got speed, you've got pausing, the delivery, you've got everything, and you should use it to your full advantage. And this is really what I've been working on with some of the TEDx speakers is your vocal range, making the most of your voice, delivering their talks in a way that really lands with the audience. The scripts are great. Like, these people are geniuses in their field. They're so freaking brilliant at what they do. But again, you can have pure gold. People are not going to care, though, if you sound bored or you're rushed or you've got that, I don't want to say wimpy delivery, but you know what I mean when I'm saying that wimpy delivery, like it's too soft, it's too gentle, you're too unsure of yourself. You need to believe in what you're saying. So this, again, will require some work. And if you ever want to work together, I've got modules upon modules of vocal delivery and vocal work and vocal intention. I've worked with a vocal coach, different vocal coaches on and off throughout my 20 years of being a professional speaker. I still have a vocal coach to this day. It makes a world of difference. But if you don't want to invest in a vocal coach, you can just record yourself. I want you to record yourself reading that same sentence 3 different ways. So first, do it like really neutral, your normal everyday speaking voice. Then read it super duper excited, like all of your biggest, wildest, juiciest dreams just came true and you cannot believe it. And then read it a third time like you're absolutely dead inside, like there's no pulse. And then listen back and just get used to how it sounds. And then you can add on to that once you listen back and hear the difference. Next time you're about to give a talk and you have an important point to make, you can slow down. You can let the words breathe a little bit. You can throw some pauses in there. Again, play around with it. You're going to have your own style because everybody's voice sounds different. So you're going to have your own style. But when you become aware of your voice and become aware that it's an instrument and that you can make it work for you, you will truly get to a point where you know that how you say it will matter more than what you say. Yes, your words are important, but you need to get it out there in a way that it lands with them and people want to hear it. And this third point really connects in with that, and that's emotional connection. I want you to speak to be felt, not just heard, because people don't remember facts, right? There's tons of studies about this. They remember feelings. And that's why the best speakers, they all tell stories because they make you feel something. And if you're sitting there thinking like, well, I'm not a great storyteller, I'm not a writer, stop, first of all. Believe in yourself. Second of all, you've lived a life. So you definitely have stories from your life. And these stories are how you're going to connect with people, right? You don't just want to throw 20 million facts at people. You want to work some stories in there. The biggest example of this I give, because I coach people in public speaking, I take this sentence, I struggled with public speaking, right? Okay. True. That's a fact. I struggled with public speaking. Or you could say, I remember standing there, hands sweating, hands shaking, heart racing, convinced I was about to bomb. Like there's a difference there. People who have been in your spot struggling with public speaking, they're going to hear, oh, hands were sweaty, hands were shaking, guts were bubbling, heart was racing, convinced I was about to bomb. Oh yeah, girl, been there too. See the difference? If you make it personal, it's going to make it matter. Because if it matters to you, it's going to matter to them. So those are the three elements I want to give you today. Your presence. Again, your energy enters the room before you do. Your vocal intention. How you say it matters more than what you say. Although, yes, please work on your script. And then number 3, have that emotional connection. You want to speak to be felt, not just heard. We're human beings. We want that connection. So let me check my list of notes here. All right. I have three more easy things to give you, just easy habits that you can start implementing. This is a way to kind of bring home this episode, get some quick shifts you can start using right now, today, this week, to upgrade your speaking game. And the first one we already sort of covered, and that's owning your space. Whether you're on Zoom, I mean, a lot of my client sessions are virtual. I very rarely, actually, most of them are virtual. I rarely will coach in person, but I will speak in person. And I've found this to be true, whether I'm virtual or in real life. You want to own your space, right? Don't shrink yourself. I want you to take up space physically and vocally, like we just talked about. So shoulders up, back down, string, top of the head, straight spine, whether you're sitting or standing, chin up, voice steady, because people will respond to the energy you bring. You want to bring your best energy. You believe in yourself. You believe your words matter, because they do. And you're there to help people. You're there to serve people. You belong there. Act like it. The second thing you can do is to lead with certainty. So I want you to stop asking people to listen. And I want you to just start assuming or just knowing that they want to. So we're going to get rid of those hesitant fillers. And yes, some ums and ahs every once in a while, like that's natural human speaking. You'll notice I do it all the time. It's just human nature, right? You're never going to notice it in a general everyday conversation. But when you're delivering a client pitch or a TEDx talk or something that carries a lot of weight to it, you want to get rid of those fillers, right? You have your conversation or your script pretty structured. You want to believe in it and get rid of any of the hesitancy. You want to ditch the apologetic tone. What do you have to apologize for? You're brilliant, again, at what you do. Remember, you're there to help people. You're there to serve people. Why are you sounding so apologetic about it? Don't. Right? Strong voice. And then own your words like they matter, because they do. Even if you have to write this down on a Post-it note, stick it in your pocket, walk into that meeting with it, make a Canva iPhone screensaver with that, own your words like they matter, because they do. And I'm not saying your words are going to matter to every single person out there. No, your words are going to matter to the people who need it most. And those are the people that we're focusing in on, right? So lead with certainty. And then the third thing, and this is just great advice for any sort of speaking situation, but especially to become more of a magnetic speaker. If you say less, you can often mean more. So if your message is getting lost, simplify it. Strong communicators, they don't ramble. They just get to the good part fast, especially if you're somebody who has a bit of nerves around speaking. Before you speak, I want you to ask yourself, like, what's the one thing that I want them to remember? And then make that the focus. This is something, again, that is good for any situation. And this is something that I work on all the time, because I am, what do the kids call them these days? Like yappers? Like I'm a yapper. I love to jab my jaws. It's what I do for a living. It's what I've done my whole life. And so I do get rambly, but I also don't want my message to get lost. So if I'm giving like a keynote or something really, really big, that's not just my rambly podcast where I get to have fun. I always ask myself, like, what's the one thing that I want them to remember? Or if I'm giving a longer speech, for each section of that speech, what's the one takeaway that I want them to get from this section? And then I make that the focus. And again, this is going to help you become really strong. It's going to help you. Remember at the beginning of the episode when I talked about getting rid of like the lack of clarity and speaking too passively, unsure delivery? This tip is really going to help you combat that. So own your space, lead with certainty, say less to mean more. There you have it. Because honestly, I know I've said it 1,000 times, but I'm going to say it 1,000 more times until you truly believe it. Like, your voice deserves to be heard. The way you deliver it, that changes everything. So please try one of these shifts this next week coming up. See how people respond differently to you. Watch how you respond differently to the situation, how you feel. Feel free to DM me on Insta. Tell me which tip you're trying first. I love hearing your wins. If a tip really worked for you, please DM me. Let me know. You can also send me an email, info@heykayla.com. And again, if you ever want to go deeper on any of this stuff or your vocal range, your vocal delivery, again, modules upon modules, I can teach you more in depth. So go out there, own your words, have the best week, and I'll talk to you soon.